Hey guys, welcome back to another pickups video. This time a long pickup video covering the months of December of last year, January and February. Like it's a 3-month pickup video covering like 2 years, 2017 and 2018. Decided to do this because I'm running a little bit behind in the videos, and right now it's middle of it's the middle of February. And I figured, I don't foresee myself picking a lot of games from now until the end of February. So if I do, I'll just pass those games on to the next pickups video. And so yeah, this is essentially a 3-month pickup video with a lot of games. Considering December of 2017, it's a holiday month, meaning a lot of holiday sales and also Christmas gifts and whatnot. So with that being said, let's just get started with the usual order here, which is I always talk about new releases first. And the first one is no surprise if you guys have been following my channel for some time. I'm a huge fan of Xenoblade Chronicles for the Nintendo Wii, and so I had to pick up Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Obviously, this is a more of a proper follow-up to the original game as opposed to Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, which deviated a little bit too far from it. So I was very excited to pick this, despite of some critics I have against the game. I'm not a huge fan of the art direction they decided to go with this game. It's more of a cartoony / anime look to it. But nevertheless, I'm actually playing this game right now, and I'm really enjoying it. And I want to say I'm close to finishing the game. I think I already put like 70 hours into it. And I think I'm finally nearing the end chapters in the game. So obviously looking forward to finishing this, and I really want to wait until I beat this game to see if it makes it in somewhere in my top games of 2017 list. And obviously I'll do an impressions video once I finish the game. But pretty excited so far. It's a pretty solid RPG, and looking forward to finishing this game and see where it fits in my list. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a really awaited release for me personally, and pretty happy to have it in my collection. The next game, it's an old new release. This game actually came out months ago. I want to say maybe even a year ago, digitally only. And I did something that I don't usually do, which is order games through limited run games. This is my second ever order from them. And I'm talking about Windjammers for the Neo Geo. Well, this is for the PlayStation Vita, but originally this game is a Neo Geo AES and MVS game, arcade and Neo Geo home console. And I guess a random fact. I think one of my first gameplay videos in my channel, many years ago, was actually me playing Windjammers via emulator. The main emulator, arcade emulator, and yeah, I like this game because it's so quirky. It's so different from anything else out there. I just like the cheesiness of the game, with the characters, the presentation. It's a very mid to early 90s vibe, contained within the game. So I really wanted to get the physical release, and limited run games. They were the ones in charge, and thankfully this was not too hard to purchase. They had plenty of copies for both the Vita and the PS4. Decided to go with the Vita version. So a very fun game. I may do an impressions video, even though it's a short arcade game. But I really like this. It's one of my arcade favorite classics, and pretty happy to have this in my collection. I think this is a new release. I think it was released either in December or January. I'm losing track already. It's been so long since I did my last pickup video, but I think this is a new release, and but nevertheless, here it is. Doom VFR for the PS4, the PS4 VR or PSVR essentially. Decided to pick this up. It was on sale at Best Buy. I kind of feel bad for not picking this on day one, considering Doom. Doom for the PS4 is one of my all-time favorite first-person shooter games. Really a fantastic game, and I meant to get this on day one. I thought I had a pre-order, but I didn't, and I'm kind of glad I waited, I guess, because I saved a few dollars. The game went on sale shortly after its release, so hopefully it's doing okay sales-wise. And I haven't played this yet. I'm really lacking time to play games. The only game I've been playing lately is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Other than that, I've been very busy, and games for the VR, for the PSVR, are definitely taking a back seat just because setting up the PlayStation VR is a pain in the ass, guys. Even though I already have most of the setup, good to go, it's still a very cumbersome process, putting the helmet on or the headset on and what have you. So I'm looking forward to playing this, but not necessarily in the near future, but excited to see how Doom looks in VR. Obviously, there are some shortcomings that I've heard about the game, but yeah, I guess I'll see those when I try the game myself. So Doom VFR for the PS4, another new release. And speaking of old new releases, I picked up, I believe this was released in December, I want to say, Okami HD. Okami is one of my favorite games of all time. Obviously this game originally came out on the PlayStation 2, then it had a Wii port that I really enjoyed with the motion control or the Wii mode. And then there was a PS3 HD release which I was very excited, to the point that I imported the Japanese version because North America did not get a physical release, and I never got around to playing that. I still have my PS3 copy that I imported from Japan, and here we are. A couple of years later, we have a PS4 release physical here in North America. This is not imported or anything, and I had to pick this up even though I already have a physical version of the PS3 for the HD version. I'm not really sure if there are any differences between the PS3 and PS4 version. But just look at the beautiful art here. I think it's just a beautiful game, and the art here was amazing, and the game was pretty cheap too. I think it only retails for like $20. So props to Capcom for putting a nice price point on the physical release. And yeah, I need to get to this game at one point because I'm a huge fan of Okami. It's one of my favorite games of all time, so pretty excited to have picked this up on the PS4. Another game that I'm very excited to pick up, that I really want to give another chance. I never actually did this game. We're talking about Shadow of the Colossus. This is the special edition for the PlayStation 4. And you guys know me, I'm a pretty big fan of Fumito Ueda's two other titles. I'm talking about Ico, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and The Last Guardian, which is one of my favorite PS4 games. And I don't want to say it's one of my favorite games of all time, but it was definitely my favorite game last year, or 2016. Really loved The Last Guardian. I loved Ico, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made. Shadow of the Colossus, oddly enough, I did play the PS3 version that came out with the HD port for Ico, and I didn't really get far. I think I fought maybe 4 or 5 Colossi before I stopped the game. I was a little bit put away because of the terrible controls. I've heard there are some improvements in this remake, but nevertheless, this is a perfect chance to give the game a second chance, no pun intended. So very much looking forward to the remake. I already seen the trailers, the graphics, they look fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to give this game another shot and completing this game and giving you guys impressions. I would love to play this like right now, but again, I'm so busy with work and some other things, in my personal life. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is kind of like the only game I'm playing at the moment, but I will definitely play this game at one point and enjoy it, I'm sure. So Shadow of the Colossus, for the PlayStation 4, pretty excited to play this. And then I think that's it for the new releases. Now we're gonna go through holiday sales, Christmas gifts, and the whole 9 yards. So I'm gonna start with the Christmas gifts that I received. For Black Friday, I picked up Dishonored, the side game. I already have Dishonored 1. I have the side game. I even forgot what it's called already. But Dishonored 2. I got this was on my Christmas wish list, and I have a lot of catching up to do with the Dishonored series. It's a game that I was very excited when it first came out back in I want to say it was 2012, 2013 maybe, when the first one came out. A lot of people say the game is very fun. It has multiple paths you can take, a stealth approach. You can go all gung-ho and violent and whatnot. So I believe this game follows that formula, and yeah, excited to play Dishonored 2. But before I do that, I have to play obviously the first one. which I already did. I put some hours on the PlayStation 3 version. I just never went back to it. So now that I have the remaster version on the PS4, I might as well do that and then jump into Dishonored 2, and then on that other side, or spin-off game. So I have 3 Dishonored games that I have to go through, and this was a Christmas gift, so that was pretty cool. And speaking of gifts, this was another one, Prey. I don't know much about this game except I think it developed like a fandom. A lot of people really enjoyed this game. A lot of people consider this one of the best games of 2017, and from what I understand, the game gives a pretty creepy vibes. A lot of people compare this kind of like to the System Shock games in terms of just the overall vibe and atmosphere of the game. I can't personally say anything. I haven't really looked too much upon what this game is about, but based on the positive input, I decided to put it on my Christmas wish list, and here I have it. It was a gift, so excited to try this game at one point and see what it's all about. And then speaking of gifts, this was a Valentine's Day gift, by the way, and it's none other than Batman Arkham VR, another virtual reality game, meaning that I won't get to this right away, but definitely looking forward to trying this game out sometime. And I've heard a lot of positive things about this VR game. It's obviously very, very short from what I understand. Very little replay value, but the experience itself is pretty good. So yeah, pretty excited to try this. I'm a huge fan of the Arkham games. Obviously, this is a very different type of Batman game. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good, so excited to have that. Also, this was part of a holiday sale. I think Best Buy had the Walking Dead. Oops, I dropped the game. The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, which is essentially season 3 of The Walking Dead. I'm a pretty big fan of the first 2 seasons, and I even played the 400 Days DLC. I even played the Michonne like spin-off game that it's based on the TV series. So naturally, you would think that I was very excited to get this on day 1 and whatnot, but I'm just not feeling it right now. I bought the game because it was on sale for a very, very, very good price. Yeah, I'll get to this definitely at one point because I already, completed season 1, completed season 2, completed all the DLC as I mentioned. So I definitely want to see how the story progresses, and yeah, I'm just not feeling it to play the game at the moment, but excited to play this at one point, obviously. Another game on sale was Rise of the Tomb Raider. This game came out on the Xbox One. And then, almost like over a year later, I think the PS4 version came out. I was patient, decided to wait for the PS4 version to come out. Once it came out, I waited for it to go on sale, and hence here we are. I'm a pretty big fan of the Tomb Raider, the 2013 game on the PS3. This game follows those footsteps. This is more of a Uncharted clone type of game, but obviously with much improved graphics and a new story and things like that. So Rise of the Tomb Raider, looking forward to playing this. Another game that was on sale for dirt cheap. I mean, Amazon every now and then they just drop the prices like a rock for certain games. For Honor, I've heard this game is pretty fun, especially if you played it with friends. Hopefully when I get somebody else to join me to play this game. Otherwise, I think you can still play the single player solo. So yeah, For Honor was dirt cheap. A lot of people have a pretty big gripe with like Ubisoft games, but I don't care. I've heard the game is fun, and yeah, looking forward to playing this. Hopefully with somebody to do the co-op portions of the game. Now we're gonna switch gears towards the Nintendo games. A lot of PS4 games that I talked about, but before I delve into the Nintendo games, just a quick transition here. I did receive in the mail my Nintendo Force magazine, which features Kirby Battle Royale on one end of the cover, and then if you flip the magazine, you have Wolfenstein 2 as the other cover. So flip, it has 2 different games, which I thought it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed getting the Nintendo Force magazine. It's a bi-monthly bi-monthly release, so happy to have that. And now we're gonna focus on the Nintendo Switch games that I picked up in this 3-month period. The first one is a game that a lot of people were saying it's rare, you know, a lot of people were actually scrambling for this game. That was not the main reason why I was excited for this game, but I do have to admit I was in somewhat of a rush to pick this game up before it disappeared off the shelves. And I'm talking about Poi, the Explorer Edition. Even though the game is available digitally, I wanted to have this as a physical copy. And sure enough, my local Best Buy had a couple copies of this game. And then a month later after that, I was like, yeah, I'll just pick it up later. And then people kept talking, the prices went up on Amazon, people were selling this on eBay for increased prices. So there was another Best Buy close to me that had one copy left, and I was like, might as well buy it now. It's a fairly cheap game. I think I got it for like $21 with my GCU discount. And yeah, I don't know, maybe this game is already steadily available, maybe they print more copies, I don't really care if the game is rare or not, but I'm happy to have a physical copy because actually the gameplay footage that I've seen of the game looks really fun. It's essentially a Mario 64 clone, like a lot of the things, the mechanics of it's a 3D platformer game, and a lot of the mechanics within the game look very similar to Mario 64, so and the game actually got pretty decent reviews for being a low-budget indie game. The game plays pretty well. The controls are pretty tight and whatnot. So yeah, excited to. I already, in fact, played a little bit of this, and from what I played so far, it's a pretty entertaining 3D platformer that takes after Super Mario 64, which is somewhat of a cool thing. Hard to find 3D platformers nowadays, so definitely happy to have this game in my collection. I also picked up on the cheap Sine Mora IX, another game that for some reason it went down in price on Amazon fairly quickly, and pretty cool to have this picked up on the Nintendo Switch because as with other games, third-party games that are being released on the Switch, the Nintendo Switch games have this, I guess, Switch tags to them. So this game came out physically for the PS4 and I think the Xbox One as well. And the Switch version was more expensive. It's like $10 more expensive, which it kind of sucks. But I guess people are saying that the cards are more expensive to make as opposed to the Blu-ray discs. So yeah, that's basically what happened. And but the game was on sale on Amazon.com, so that helped offset the that Nintendo Switch tax. And I'm pretty happy to have this. This is a game where it's like a shmup where Suda51 was involved. So yeah, definitely looking forward to playing a little bit more of this because I already played this on the Vita, but not very much. And this is the perfect chance to jump back into the game. Actually, this was a Christmas gift. It was on my Christmas wish list. Sonic Forces. Unfortunately, the game received reviews that were so-so. For me, the game looked interesting from the get-go because the game kind of takes a similar path to Sonic Generations, which is one of my favorite Sonic games, if not my favorite Sonic game. From what I've seen on footage, the game looks very similar, the way the game is set up. So that alone made me very excited, and hence why I put this on my Christmas wish list. Unfortunately, the reviews are not very good, but I guess I'll find out for myself why exactly. So Sonic Forces on Nintendo Switch. And lastly, just a couple of 3DS games here. Best Buy had one of those classic, buy one, get one 50% off, which is a perfect chance to stack up on 3DS games. As we all know, Nintendo games don't really drop down in price much. So with that being said, I picked up Hey Pikmin, still on the shrink wrap, so I apologize if there's any weird glare. It's a platformer, it's not your typical Pikmin game, so that alone has me very, I guess, interested in trying this game out, just because it's a different approach to the typical Pikmin formula. So yeah, excited to try Hey Pikmin, a platforming game. Nutopia. which it's based on the Me Quest on the that came originally with the Nintendo 3DS, but it's a more elaborate game with a lot of different types of elements. Yeah, decided to pick this game with the 50% off offer. One of the newer Latent games. This is Latent's Mystery Journey, where I don't think Professor Layton is the protagonist in this one. It's actually the girl, which is like his daughter or whatever. So yeah, one of the I want to say strange releases, because this game got released very late into the Nintendo 3DS life cycle, and not a whole lot of people have talked about this game for some reason. So I like the Latent games, even though I don't own all of them. And I have not played all of them, obviously, but yeah, these are very fun games with a lot of puzzles and very interesting art direction, stories, and soundtrack typically. So that's that. And finally, a game that I'm kind of excited to try. It's Ever Oasis. I've heard nothing but good things about this RPG. It has a very charming look. And again, the reviews and impressions of people that have played this game are nothing but positive. So a lot of acclaim for this RPG here, and again, decided to pick this up through the discounts and the promotions. So at one point or another, I do want to try this game out and see what it's all about. So that's it, guys. Those are my pickups for December of 2017, January of 2018, February 2018, 3 months in a row. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all guys later.